All right, what's up, YouTube? Today, we're getting back into some, a little saga we've been doing. Watching some historical sets that I think a lot of the Slippy kids and, people getting into Melee in more recent years probably haven't seen. A whole chapter in one particular Crimson Blur's life. A matchup that would come to haunt him, but there is a redemption arc at the end of the story. Of course, I'm talking about the Crimson Blur versus Kirby. And it's not just one Kirby. This is something people mix up. People think, was it just one Kirby that was giving him trouble? No, I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now. It was not just one Kirby. Now, Moon Knight Leader is not a Kirby player at all. In fact, is a Marth player. And when they sat down at the setup, I thought, of course, that they would Marth Ditto. I was like, well, of course they're gonna Marth Ditto. I mean, he's a Marth player and he is better than Blur, I think. And Blur at this point still lived in SoCal. So this was the kind of thing where like, okay, Moon Knight was this up and coming, barely not PR level Marth in NorCal. Blur was kind of that in SoCal and he traveled to NorCal for this tournament. So I was ready to see a Marth Ditto. Kirby Kaze joined me on the commentary. Kirby Kaze at this point was like number 6 in the world. So this was a treat and we got a surprise. Moon Knight went Kirby. Now, I don't know necessarily why. I know there was a good bit of banter and a good bit of trash talk between these two kind of coming into this thing, and Moon Knight was like, bro, I'm going to beat you with Kirby. And I will say, knowing Moon Knight, he's a silly guy. He's a funny dude. Actually, a really great dude. I do miss seeing him around at tournaments. He's a little bit more old school. And he was just a treat to be around. Really, really, really neat guy. Class act. And I thought he was gonna beat Blur, but I will admit that when he locked Kirby, I was like, no, dude, Blur's like pretty good. There's no way Blur's gonna lose to Moon Knight's Kirby. Like, Moon Knight, I don't even think Moon Knight necessarily was a shoo-in to beat Blur in the Marth Ditto. I thought it was gonna be like, okay, it'll be... I think Moon Knight will win, but I think it'll be a good set. And what you're noticing so far, by the way, from the gameplay, is you're seeing in neutral, the strategy right now from Moon Knight seems to be that he will roll behind Blur and go for an up tilt. So if you've ever run into these Falcos on unranked that kind of they roll into you and they shine and you're trying to react to their roll, but you're a little bit late with your grab or something like that and you get shine, you're like, oh, well, this is a much worse version of that. So if you think your reaction time's bad when you can't react to a roll-in shine, which is a one-frame move, well, imagine how frustrating it must be if you're the Crimson Blur and you're having trouble punishing some of these roll-in up tilts, which is a much slower move. This is lose-lose, and we're seeing the roll-through strategy starting to work. Moon Knight even showing the roll around when Blur is off-stage, really telegraphing kind of what his intent is here, right? I told Blur, listen, man, I think one of your big problems is you never nair. And I watched a Fiction lesson that vindicated me. I saw on my YouTube that Fiction posted a lesson where he gave Blur a Marth lesson. So Fiction was coaching Blur, and Fiction said the same thing to Blur. He's like, you really got to do more nair, especially in certain matchups, and less forward air. You do too much forward air, too little nair. And I think Blur would really... Oh, Blur trying to BM his opponent. See, he's literally looking at Moon Knight. You see that? Forward smash me. Looked at Moon Knight. Shaking his head. Blur thinks he's gonna tap it in. Blur thinks he's gonna win this. I mean, well, I would too. You're up 2 stocks to 1. Game 1 feels like it's over. You feel disrespected, and you're saying to your opponent, hey, Moon Knight, hey man, do you feel like a dumbass yet? Now you're gonna go Marth, right? You're gonna give me the set that I deserve. Of course, right? Go Marth. Let's Marth it like men. Bring it on. And Moon Knight says, hell no. Hell no, buddy. You feel like you need to win game 1, right? To make this kind of pick work. You feel like they're gonna, if they figure out the matchup and they 2-stock you, probably sticking it out with low tier is not a winning strategy, right? You would think. But yeah, see, Blur keeps getting got by this roll through up tilt. This is the story. This is like the story of neutral. Roll through up tilt. And the way you cover that, honestly, the easiest way to cover it, if you don't want to like try to react, if you don't want to like try to like pivot grab the roll on reaction, which can be actually kind of surprisingly difficult. Like right there, he gets roll forward tilted because he's trying to react to it with a dash dance. See, watch. Misses the reaction. So if you're Blur, honestly, nair in place. Nair in place will just cover roll in because you can just fast fall it, get that juicy second hit on the roll in. If you don't get the roll in, you're very safe. It's hard to whiff punish. It's pretty much a catch-all for that kind of strategy. And I think that against like net play Falcos who roll in a lot, like if you're a Marth player out there and you're struggling with, roll in shine, roll in up tilt, if you're the Crimson Blur, even in 2022, and Fiction's telling you got to nair more. There, right there. I love the nairs. He starts actually doing some of them here. See how this nair just kind of covers the roll in like that? Granted, that was a tech roll in, but same concept. I would be nairing a lot more if I was Blur here. I think nair, and the thing you got to realize about nair too is nair's second hit is basically always a strong hit. It's not like forwarder where if you get the inward hitbox, it's kind of like, oh shit, I got like a bad hitbox. It's like kind of hard to, you know, what am I doing here, right? Nair, you just drop it on him and it's always a strong hit and it's always good. Blur, and the taunt. I remember seeing Blur's reaction to this and I was worried for him. Again, man, that roll in. Look how much more it's working compared to game one. Literally, look how much more the roll in is working compared to game one. And Blur doesn't feel like he has a reliable answer, I don't think.
He's just swinging a lot now.
He's swinging a lot. If you're going to swing, do the one move that has a starting and a landing hitbox, which is your nair. That's my take. That's my 2 cents. Tipper. Blur starting to bring it back. I don't like the forward smashes, bro. That's like the one thing that... And the thing about them is he's actually not even being directly punished for the forward smashes sometimes. Like this one? He literally, Blur throws the forward smash, look. Throws the, not that one, the one that gets shielded. Throws the forward smash and has the time to get his shield up. So it's not even a punish on the forward smash. Blur literally just misplays and then he lets his shield down to try to jump and gets up tilted. So Blur is totally at this point not clued into like the way Moon Knight is trying to counterattack. Like it's not like the forward smash was even unsafe. I mean, it was unsafe, but it's not like Moon Knight's doing a proper punish. He's literally just rolling in and playing this interaction that Blur is guessing wrong on every time.
Like if he jumps, or if he does...
Forward tilt, gets under him. The Marth killer. Blur might lose a game. It still has not occurred to Blur at this point that there's a possibility that he could lose the set. But I think it starts dawning on him right around now that he could lose at least this game. That is a fucking crazy forward smash. That is a crazy forward smash. And now Blur's thinking, hang on a minute. All right, we're doing this 2-0. Rolling F tilt, man. I don't... The forward smashes, man. Don't like them. Don't like them. I don't like them. Uh-oh. Oh, the jump gets caught. Out of that back throw, correct? Yeah. Blur with a little bit of a, by the way, you can see that little spicy, little bit of a whoop. This is a 3-frame move. 1 frame, 2 frame. It's active. I mean, I wouldn't go here against Kirby if I was a Marth player. I really wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. I would go to Stadium, maybe FD, maybe Yoshi's. I wouldn't go here. I wouldn't go here. But he's winning. He's literally winning. He is, he's playing well so far. And the side Bs have given a little bit of an answer to the roll in. He's trying to do side B in place to kind of cover it, right? It's funny how centralizing that roll in interaction is. It really is like a... See, he's trying to deal with it. He's trying to space around it. And he's winning. He's doing good. Oh, he thought walk up to... I don't even think that kills there, Blur. See, I don't like how committal some of the things he's doing are. The walk up tilt, the forward smashes, these are risky actions. If you're wrong, you get got. Okay. Okay. Oh! Again, the roll in. And the up tilt, look. And this was when I was like, Blur's gonna win. I thought. And I even said on the commentary, you heard me, I said, roll behind. And Blur, reading the roll behind, goes for right here. This is not on reaction because it's been too early in the roll. Throws out an up tilt and the back hit covers the roll. And I was like, wait a minute. I think Blur's gonna win. He has an answer. Blur's looking good. He's building up damage with the side B. He's locked in. He nodded. I like the nod, but he gives Moon Knight the really obvious double jump to the ledge. You know people are gonna scout that out. Crowd's going crazy. Remember, this is a NorCal crowd, and this is a NorCal-SoCal rivalry. A bunch of SoCal people traveled up to NorCal for this tournament, and this was, you know, in the days where regional rivalries were a little bit more pronounced, so we were getting a little bit excited. So those who don't know, the one move you really got to look out for, Kirby's got a bunch of weak moves. Kirby's up air is not one of them. Kirby's up air is really strong. It is a kill move. And if you don't DI it properly, like this move is like a Samus back air. Kirby's up air is it hits like a truck. He's at 56 and look how far this move sends him.
Oh, wait, does he have a jump?
Boom.
Wait, yo, is this it? Is this it? Oh, he chokes. He had it. A jump.
I don't know what Moon Knight was trying to set up for there.
Oh, he chokes. He had it.
He super overcomplicated that. Blur gets a forward smash. Don't know what the hell that was. That was awful. What was this up smash, bro?
That couldn't have been on purpose. Drop back here? Okay, let's drop back here instead. Trying to stay safe. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
You gotta go on stage. Come on, man. And okay, all respect to Blur. Very respectful post game. No visible salt. Although, you know, Blur. And Blur probably thought, you know, the saga would end right here, right? Like, this is the last time that we would really see the legend of Crimson Blur's Marth versus Kirby. Like, people thought, you know, you probably think to yourself, well, okay, that's one set where I played pretty bad. It is what it is. Until about a year later, one of the most notorious events that ever happened in a Folsom Street Foundry, aka Foundry Melee Bracket, was the footage you're about to see right here. This is undoctored. This is real footage. This is not edited. There is evidence that this happened. That is one of the five gods, Armada, losing a set to Sea Rabbit, a NorCal Kirby main. You'll notice the round before Sea Rabbit takes out Armada. Look what we have here. I do not think, I scoured the internet and I do not think VODs from this particular match are on the internet. But what I can tell you is I watch it on stream. Blur gets fucked up this tournament. And at this point, it's not just an isolated incident anymore. Blur officially has a Kirby problem. Fast forward to the next year. March 2016, it's been yet another year, and Blur has the chance to redeem himself at a tournament called the NorCal Arcadian. Now, if you don't know what an Arcadian is a tournament where you're not allowed to enter if you're ranked or you've ever been ranked. The Arcadian is a tournament where it would always get a ton of entrants, because I think for a lot of people, it's an opportunity to come out and play and actually have a chance to win. The fun thing, people like me and Shroomed and SFAT and all of the power rank players, is we all go to these and we all show up. Okay, I'll say it. We get a couple drinks in us and we side bet because it's really fun. It is top 96. It needs to be emphasized. We're getting into it, and you gotta realize at this point, Serial Rabbit is the favorite. Serial Rabbit versus Blur, he's finally getting the run back, and we're gonna find out. I don't really remember how this set went. So for me, I'm wondering, has he learned the counterplay in neutral? At this point, there's no excuse. When you lose to Kirby twice, you have to start thinking about it. By the way, we're gonna turn the commentary up a little bit. The commentators are me and Pew Pew You. It doesn't get much better than that.
Have a better chance of winning with Pichu than Marth. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. However, I told him, if you lose with Pichu, and maybe he's just going straight to the Marth. I told him, if you lose with Pichu, and you are, you know...
Blur at this point, you're wondering, why the f am I talking about Pichu in the commentary? Blur is really proud of his Pichu. Blur, at this point, is working at Twitch. He frequently goes Pichu against bad Melee players who work at Twitch, in the Twitch office. And his Pichu's... okay, it's Pichu, but it's not bad. And I told Blur, I wanted Blur to win. I actually gave him a long pep talk before this set, and he was sweating. Like, I was grabbing him by the shoulders, and, you know, we were seriously, we were sitting down, we were talking about the matchup. And I told him, like, listen, if you feel like you need to go Pichu to take the edge off, I actually think you're going to do fine.
I think you owe it to Sea Rabbit to fight him with Marth.
Right.
And I want you to, you can't whiff all these moves, man. Your problem is you're always throwing out these, look at that.
Go, listen how mad I am at fucking Blur. Bro, listen how mad I'm so mad at his Marth. Oh my god.
It's not even, and tilted is not the word, he's just nervous.
Okay.
I could tell.
Super nervous, yeah.
Actually, like,
remember the vibe when he was playing Moon Knight where he's like, God, I can't believe I'm losing to this. And then he was like, oh God, I can't believe I'm losing to this. And he starts getting a little bit like in his head. That was not the vibe in this set. Like, he went into this set really worried. Like, he was sweating bullets. He was not having a good time. He was like, holy I've got to fight Kirby on stream again. I've got to live this nightmare that I keep living.
Serial Rabbit. I noticed he's
Serial rabbit.
extremely good at edge guarding Marth. So I would say that
Wow.
Crimson is dead right here.
That's
See
big.
how this plays out.
Peter's called
Oh,
Crimson.
like
Oh!
that.
Oh, like that. Let's go,
okay,
Blur.
Let's go, Blur.
None of that.
Fuck about Blur.
Let's go.
We're not, me and PP are not impressed. If you're gonna taunt, you better close the edge guard out.
Let us
We're
go.
not impressed.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
We should have a little swear jar.
Voice of God.
Yeah. Just calling over this. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
The new
Let's go,
jab.
Blur.
I call that the new jab.
Yeah.
The new jab.
Wait.
I'm gonna steal that.
I
Because it has
just said
this-
yeah because I'm like, yeah.
He
GPU.
swings it the same as the jab.
He throws himself into the corner. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
So do you think this is the point where Duke starts questioning his decision to go
Duke.
Kirby?
Isn't Duke's main Kirby? Who else does he play?
He says that he's in the process of completely quitting Kirby for Marth, actually.
Wow.
So if he loses this, we might just see a Marth Ditto, which I actually can imagine Blur being more comfortable with.
Yeah, I wouldn't Marth though. I would stick it out with
No, I
Kirby.
think it is in Pseudo Rabbit's best interest to stay Kirby.
Oh, yeah, you gotta go for it. Just show it, you know? Show the inhale to get him a little scared.
Okay. Oh.
Dude, and he actually dash attacks is like a regular thing he does in neutral.
Okay. Oh.
And Blur having a tough time punishing it.
Okay.
Jeez, how is Serial Rabbit making this neutral game work? Jeez, he almost got it.
I don't really know. He's doing actually a lot of really good roll behinds, which is weird because
Roll
I feel
behind.
like Crimson isn't whiffing that many attacks on the ground, but he's still finding the roll behind.
Blur doing a much better job playing around it though. Look at the side B.
But he's still finding
That was nice. That was nice. Did not see much of that in the Moon Knight set.
the roll behind.
Wow, was that gonna KO? Not quite.
And you can hear it in the commentary. We're actually not joking around. We want Blur to win. We want him to overcome his
No, he
demon.
doesn't.
We actually want that.
I would say
You know, we're not sitting here roasting him, making fun of him. Like, we want him to win. We're cheering for him.
I like that Arian doesn't try to completely salvage.
There
the
you go.
situation that
Look at the player cam. I'm serious. Look at the player cam. Look at.
salvaged the situation that erupted right there.
Yeah.
He just fell back and.
Have you ever seen a gamer this pressed? He is so pressed. He's pressed like grape juice. He's fighting like the earth is on the line.
Center stage.
He's fighting for his life, bro.
At first I didn't believe it.
This is some of the most pressure I think that has ever been on
There we go.
a melee player.
Mine's-
Like, because what you gotta realize is, everyone in the community knows Blur. Blur is a face of the melee community, so everyone's gonna make fun of him.
I was not expecting this.
Well, behind up tilt, and he gets up
there.
aired.
So powerful.
Oh no!
Dirty. Oh, I really wish he just down aired him.
Yeah.
All right, see those up airs are
Oh.
scary, man.
Okay, nice. I like what Arian.
Way more down tilt
Yes.
from Blur.
Let's go.
Yes, yes. That's not
Oh.
it.
He's so sad.
There we go.
Yes.
Look at this.
Let's go.
Yes, yes. That's not
Oh.
it.
Early pop off.
Come on.
Early pop off.
Got it, Blur.
Ledge.
No.
Air dodge.
Oh,
I think
okay,
that's
no
it,
jumps.
man.
No. He's got an air dodge.
Oh, I love the multiple jets.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Can he have? Could he have grabbed the ledge
Multiple jets.
or something?
But. Oh my God.
Okay.
Who knew that was gonna happen?
My God.
Oh my god.
Down air.
Oh!
Come on, Blur. Don't get too excited.
Oh my God. Blur with the balls of steel right now.
Blur playing great. Oh, as I say that. Ooh.
I don't remember. Oh!
Oh my God.
Arian's having a good laugh. It's okay.
It's not a good laugh. It's a bad laugh.
Was that is exactly the kind of fair I want
That
Blur
you-
to stop doing.
Blur
I know
still
exactly what
looks
you're
really nervous to me
Way
right
too
now.
deep.
Oh, so deep, dude. Just so
Oh,
deep.
there we
Wow.
go.
Wild bear.
As long as
Just
as long
kidding.
as he's down here. Oh.
Oh!
My God. Let's go, Blur.
So the stage really working out for Marth right now.
I gotta cheer for someone.
And him being up this much, I think, really starts giving him a little bit of confidence. Some Blur dashes. Blur likes
So
those.
something interesting about that hitbox, the tipper of Kirby down smash sends out, and the inside sends up. So yeah, Crimson just got hit by that tip.
Wow. Is the tipper more powerful or it's less powerful?
It's
right?
less powerful, but
Hmm.
considering considering the hitbox and the trajectory, it might be better.
Right.
Nice.
I really feel like Kirby should be just dying in these situations.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, really?
A good up tilt.
Awesome.
Look at Blur, man. Blur with a little bit of, little rejuvenated energy. You like to see that. You like to see that.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was daring, and I dare say I don't like that he went for it because he's
Nice.
should have died.
Good weight, Blur.
He kind of fucking should have died. Sierra almost killed him off that, by the way. That was kind of insane.
I don't know.
You can kind of tell, right, chat? You can kind of tell, like, when you watch Sea Rabbit versus Moon Knight, you can tell Moon Knight had one trick.
F smash.
And, like, Moon Knight's
That's the,
quite well-rounded, I would say, as a Kirby. It's just, you know, Blur's better at this point, right? He's actually thought about the matchup. He's not coming in completely dark. Good DI on that bear.
That's pretty much me every day of my life, man. You do you, Blur. Just whatever. Okay.
Oh, more
Crazy
tech.
situations right here.
Yeah, this is a good lead. This could decide a lot about this game. This next kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe this tournament was eventually won
Honestly, this is gonna be so
by
big.
Dookie.
This is a demon.
Wobbling ice
This is a
climbers.
demon.
3 or 4.
You know,
He'll
So,
use
like-
like 2 or 3.
yeah,
and then he
yeah.
uses one
Mr.
like
Stark, I don't feel so good.
an air dodge.
That was a lot of Icy's
Air
players.
dodge. How many jumps does he have left? Like
Want to
one.
sack local with Peach? There you go,
Oh,
Dookie. That's
yes.
not so bad.
Okay.
That's not so bad.
Back to
I gotta say, that is huge for Blur. Getting a confident, comfortable win in game 2, so big for him because now it's just one more game and you just got to close it out.
Really surprised that he wouldn't just ban this, you know? Oh, so dirty, dude. So dirty.
Look at Blur is not enjoying these talks. Look at him.
So dirty, dude.
No.
So dirty.
Not like that.
I gotta tell you, by the way, Blur, you gotta think about your recovery a little more than this. He still has his 4B. Use your 4B, Blur.
No.
You have your 4B.
Not like there we go.
Pew Pew said it. You have your 4B. Use your 4B.
He's trying to get out too quick right now.
Kirby doesn't have a grab. Kevin,
Yes.
Everyone thought Blur was losing at this point.
up till
Sea Rabbit almost just got the stock. He's up 37% to 126. Misses the dare there. That's huge. And an SD from Sea Rabbit.
Do not swing all the time.
Oh my god.
Blur looks at his opponent, shakes his head.
Disgust.
Arian,
Absolute disgust.
you need to make this your moment.
Yes,
But you can't be empathetic. If you're Blur, you need the win.
Really challenge the roll beyond up till. Just don't respect it. Like get out of there. Run.
Yep.
Dash
You
away.
see, I think a lot
Blur
of
gets his
zone-
favorite move and gets to use it 5 times, the forward air. Blur
I think
loves the
a lot
forward
of
air.
the zone before
And
the-
Blur's just forward air. And Blur was in his zone for a second. Blur was in his bag.
Okay.
Blur
So,
loves the forward
I feel like
air.
when you-
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, do you enter?
Okay.
Chad, what do you do? You're Crimson Blur. Game 3 at the Arcadian in top 96, and your opponent Kirby goes to the edge and holds the B button. And you're up in percent. Press 1 if you approach.
Yes.
Well, we don't need to know. It looks like Blur does go to the top. I like this answer. Blur
Oh, yes.
goes here to threaten. I like that. This is a very measured response. So he's basically saying, I might come down with a forwarder or a downer. You're going to have to be ready for that. But I'm going to engage on my terms. I like how Blur played this interaction, and he just waits.
Okay.
And just holding space. I
Blur knows,
loved
like,
seeing
you know,
that.
Sea Rabbit's looking for some. Ooh.
Ever since the FD, I have had no complaints about Blur's play. He took that Serial Rabbit FD, and look at that. Sea Rabbit shows the roll, and remember what he was doing in the Moon Knight set? He was trying to engage, and he messed it up every time. Look what Blur does. He's like, hell no, F that. You can roll again for all I care. And then I'll get the punish. Yes, Blur! Look at this. This is top player stuff. Let them swing. Let them flail like a fish out of water. This is what a good player would do.
Oh, that hurt.
Look at that. Well-deserved fist bump for Blur.
Arian knows now, you know, especially after seeing that last stock. Duke kind of
And he's
feels like
moving
he's-
better on the platforms.
Moving on the platforms, dude. Dude, that's how you know Blur's feeling it. When
Yeah,
he's wave
yeah.
lighting up there like.
And he's forward airing, reverse forward airing. Blur's getting to do the Blur stuff. And if you just saw this stock, the way Blur played this stock, if this was all you knew about Blur versus Kirby, you'd say, I don't see what the problem is. Why is this such a big deal?
Don't go up there, Blur. Don't go up there. You don't got to challenge.
That could have been a forward smash.
Yeah, I know. Come on, stop
Yeah.
going up there.
I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
terrified
no.
right now, man.
Totally. Okay, hitting with that inside.
Me and PB were thinking the same shit, which is like, Marth can be doing a lot better, but you don't need to be doing a lot better. You just need to be doing good enough.
Right there, boys. Oh.
He's
Oh, no!
Okay,
makes
you
it
should-
back. Oh my God!
Yes.
And Blur takes it.
Blur,
And this
you're
is the
right.
happiest I think Blur's been in his
I
whole
apologize
life.
for what I said.
And I just wanted to put this out there. You know, I wanted to put this up there because I know what it's like, you know, people thinking, you know, that you have this really bad loss, even if mine wasn't really a loss and I actually did 2-0 board.